Ever wondered why you feel overwhelmed by your emotions? Or why some people seem to maintain their composure in the face of adversity? These questions tap into the profound power of emotional control, a key aspect of our lives that influences how we perceive and react to the world around us. Emotional control, however, doesn't mean suppressing feelings. Instead, it's about understanding, managing, and responding to them in a balanced way. It's about not letting emotions control us, but rather us controlling them. And what better way to explore this concept than through the lens of Stoicism? Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers us a toolbox to navigate the turbulent seas of our emotional selves. It provides us with lessons and practices that can help us gain mastery over our emotions. In the next few minutes, we'll delve into the Stoic philosophy and discover how it can help us better control our emotions. Our first lesson from Stoicism is about understanding what is within our control. Picture yourself standing at the shore, watching the waves crash against the sand. You can't stop the waves, can you? But you can choose whether to dip your toes in the water or step back. This is the essence of the Stoic philosophy. Stoicism teaches us to distinguish between the elements in our lives that we can control and those that we can't. It's like a game of chess. The moves your opponent makes, out of your control. Your response to those moves, entirely within your control. And there's a liberating power in this realization. It's not about being passive or indifferent. It's about focusing your energy where it matters most. On your actions, your thoughts, your reactions. It's about letting go of the stress and anxiety that comes from trying to control the uncontrollable, the external circumstances that are as unpredictable as the weather. Imagine how much lighter you'd feel if you stopped fretting about the traffic jam and instead enjoyed the music playing on the radio. Or if you stopped worrying about the rain ruining your picnic and instead appreciated the beauty of the storm. This is what Stoics mean when they talk about focusing on what we can control. It's an invitation to shift our perspective, to find peace amidst the chaos by recognizing that while we can't control the world around us, we can control how we respond to it. Remember, the only things you truly control are your thoughts, actions, and reactions. Next on our Stoic journey, we explore the power of mindfulness and reflection. These are not just buzzwords thrown around in self-help books, but rather essential tools that the Stoics have been using for centuries. Stoicism encourages us to be present in the moment, to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment, and to reflect on our actions and reactions. Let's start with mindfulness. It's all about being fully aware of the here and now, not lost in thoughts about the past or worries about the future. It's about noticing what's happening within us and around us without allowing these observations to trigger automatic reactions. In this space of awareness, we can notice our emotions as they arise, see them for what they truly are, and choose not to be swept away by them. If we consider our minds as a sky, emotions are like clouds. They come and go, changing shape and intensity. Stoic mindfulness encourages us to watch these clouds without trying to control them, without being the weatherman trying to predict or change them. It's about being the sky, vast and unchanging, while the clouds of emotion float by. Now, let's move to reflection. Stoicism encourages us to reflect on our emotions and reactions. It asks us to step back, to observe our actions and reactions from a distance. This practice provides us with a level of detachment, a kind of mental space where we can examine our emotions without being entangled in them. Reflection is like looking into a mirror, seeing our emotional responses reflected back at us. It's about understanding why we feel a certain way, what triggers these feelings, and how we can manage them better. It's about gaining clarity on our emotional landscape, understanding its contours, and navigating it with wisdom. Through this constant cycle of mindfulness and reflection, we become more in tune with ourselves. We start to understand our emotional triggers, our habitual reactions, and how we can respond to life's ups and downs in a more balanced and composed way. Through mindfulness and reflection, we can gain detachment and clarity about our emotions. This is the Stoic way of emotional intelligence, a path towards serenity and wisdom. Our third Stoic lesson is about acceptance. Stoicism, as a philosophy of life, places great emphasis on accepting what we cannot change. This practice is fundamental to the Stoic way of life and is a cornerstone of their teachings. Consider this: we often find ourselves in situations that are beyond our control. We may face unexpected circumstances, meet individuals with differing attitudes, or encounter challenges that seem insurmountable. It's in these moments, when resistance seems to be our instinctive response, that Stoicism advises acceptance. But what does acceptance mean in the Stoic sense? It's not about resignation or defeat. Quite the contrary. Stoic acceptance is about understanding the nature of things and acknowledging the reality of the situation. It's about letting go of the futile struggle against the inevitable and focusing on what we can change: our reactions, our attitudes, our perspectives. By accepting what we cannot change, we free ourselves from the chains of resistance. We allow ourselves to flow with the current of life instead of against it. This acceptance brings tranquility and peace of mind. It reduces anxiety, alleviates stress, and fosters a sense of calm amidst the chaos. You see, Stoicism teaches us that our happiness and peace aren't dependent on external circumstances, but on our internal state of being. It's about embracing the impermanence of life and finding serenity in the face of adversity. By accepting what we cannot change, we eliminate resistance and cultivate tranquility. The fourth Stoic lesson teaches us to embrace adversity. Imagine a world where every knock, every setback, every challenge is not a stumbling block, but a stepping stone. This is the world as seen through the lens of Stoicism. Adversity from this perspective is not a cruel twist of fate, but a classroom. It offers us a rich, albeit sometimes harsh, curriculum of life lessons. The Stoics believed that the universe is a teacher and that adversity is its tool of instruction. Let's consider a seed. Buried in the darkness, under the weight of the soil, it might seem like the seed is in a predicament. Yet, it is within this very adversity that the seed finds the impetus to push through the soil and reach for the sunlight. It grows, it flourishes, and it becomes what it was destined to be, a magnificent tree. Like the seed, we too have the capacity to turn adversity into advantage. All it takes is a shift in perspective. When we start viewing adversity as a chance to grow, to learn, to adapt, we begin to see its value. We start to appreciate the strength it cultivates within us, the resilience it fosters, and the wisdom it imparts. How can we achieve this perspective shift? By leaning into the adversity, not away from it. By asking ourselves, what can I learn from this situation, rather than, why is this happening to me? By seeing the adversity not as a storm that's here to destroy us, but as wind that's here to remove the unnecessary leaves from our branches. Remember, the diamond is just a piece of coal that handled stress exceptionally well. The oyster that houses the pearl was once irritated by a grain of sand. The butterfly in all its glory had to endure the confinement of the cocoon. Adversity can, and often does, lead to greatness. The Stoics remind us that we are stronger than our circumstances. We are not defined by the adversity we face, but by how we respond to it. We can choose to let adversity defeat us, or we can choose to let it define us. By viewing adversity as an opportunity, we reduce its emotional strain. And not just reduce, we transform it. We turn the strain into strength, the obstacle into opportunity, the adversity into advancement. We become masters of our own destiny. The fifth Stoic lesson we will explore is the practice of gratitude. Gratitude in the realm of Stoicism is more than a fleeting sentiment of thankfulness. It is a robust practice, a way of life, a means of conditioning the mind to focus on the good in every situation. Stoics understand that while life can often throw curveballs, there is always something to be grateful for. Gratitude acts as a salve for discontentment, dissatisfaction, and resentment. By focusing on what is already present, the gifts we have received, and the beauty that surrounds us, we counteract the human tendency to always want more or to fear losing what we have. Stoics practice gratitude consistently, not just in moments of abundance, but also in times of adversity. They appreciate the simple things, the everyday occurrences that are often taken for granted. This practice fosters positive emotions, helping to create a more balanced emotional state and a more fulfilling life. By appreciating what we have, we foster positivity and contentment. The sixth Stoic lesson is about negative visualization. An intriguing term, isn't it? But what does it mean? Well, it's a practice that encourages us to contemplate the impermanence of things and potential for loss. It's not about being pessimistic. Rather, it's about fully understanding and accepting that change is a fundamental part of life. Imagine something that you value immensely. It could be a relationship, a cherished possession, or even a personal trait. Now consider what your life would be like without it. This exercise isn't meant to make you sad or fearful, but to help you appreciate what you have in the present moment. It reminds us to not take things for granted and to enjoy them while we can. This practice also serves another purpose. It prepares us for change. Change, as we all know, is inevitable. Sometimes it can be quite jarring, causing us emotional discomfort. But by engaging in negative visualization, we can lessen this emotional impact. How so? By contemplating potential loss, we're essentially familiarizing ourselves with the idea of change. We're training our minds to accept the fact that things will not always stay the same. This mental preparation can make the process of change less emotionally disruptive when it does occur. Remember, negative visualization is not about dwelling on the negative or expecting the worst. It's about cultivating a mindset that can handle change and loss gracefully. It's about living fully in the present, appreciating what we have and preparing ourselves for the impermanence of life. Negative visualization prepares us for change and loss, making them less emotionally disruptive. Our seventh lesson from Stoicism revolves around virtue and moral character. Now let's take a deep dive into the essence of this teaching and its profound impact on our emotional well-being. Stoicism, in its core, is not just a philosophy, it's a way of life. It invites us to live according to reason and virtue, two pillars of moral character. This means aligning our actions with our highest ideals and principles, living not just for ourselves, but for the greater good. But how do reason and virtue lead to emotional stability? Well, when we live in accordance with reason, we make decisions that are rational and well thought out, which naturally helps us avoid unnecessary emotional turmoil. We are less likely to be swayed by fleeting desires or temporary impulses that may lead to regret and emotional distress. On the other hand, virtue is all about developing good moral character, about being honest, fair, and kind. When we act virtuously, we create a positive environment around us, fostering trust and harmony. This, in turn, brings about a sense of peace and satisfaction, contributing to our emotional stability. Yet Stoicism doesn't stop at individual virtue. It extends its teachings to the collective, urging us to contribute to society's well-being, to be just and compassionate. This sense of purpose and contribution further enhances our emotional well-being, filling us with a sense of fulfillment. But the journey towards virtue and moral character is not a one-time endeavor. It's a continuous process, a lifelong commitment. It requires patience, perseverance, and a lot of self-reflection. It's about striving to be the best version of ourselves, day in, day out. So what's the ultimate payoff? Well, Stoics believe that such a life lived according to reason and virtue, leads to a state of eudaimonia, a Greek term that signifies flourishing or the highest form of happiness. It's about achieving a deep sense of fulfillment, a harmonious state of being that transcends momentary pleasures or pains. By cultivating virtue and moral character, we can achieve emotional stability and eudaimonia. This, my friends, is the promise of Stoicism, a philosophy that guides us towards a more meaningful, emotionally stable, and fulfilling life. The eighth Stoic lesson involves the importance of daily practices. Embodying Stoicism isn't about embracing an abstract philosophy, it's about putting it into practice, day in and day out. Journaling, for instance, allows us to reflect on our thoughts and feelings, helping us to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves. Meditation, on the other hand, encourages mindfulness and presence, allowing us to detach from our emotions and view them from a place of calm and clarity. It's akin to observing a storm from the safety of a lighthouse, rather than being tossed about on the open sea. Reading philosophical texts, particularly those of the Stoics, can provide us with valuable insights and wisdom. These ancient words serve as guides, helping us navigate our emotional landscapes with grace and resilience. Remember, consistency is key. Just like any skill, controlling our emotions requires regular practice. Regular Stoic practices can help us become more skilled at managing our emotions. Our ninth lesson from Stoicism is about the pursuit of wisdom. Stoics regard wisdom as the highest virtue, a beacon guiding us through the labyrinth of life. They believe in the perpetual quest for knowledge and understanding, seeing it as a cornerstone for emotional resilience. This ceaseless pursuit of wisdom, the thirst to know more and understand deeper, arms us with the tools to navigate the tumultuous seas of our emotions. By constantly seeking wisdom, we build a foundation for emotional resilience. The final Stoic lesson we will explore is about the importance of community and relationships. In the grand tapestry of life, we are not solitary threads, but woven together in an intricate pattern of connection. Stoicism teaches us that our relationships with others are not just beneficial, but essential for emotional resilience and happiness. Healthy relationships provide a support system that can bolster us during challenging times, helping us to weather life's storms. They also offer a mirror, reflecting back to us our strengths and areas for growth, aiding in our journey towards self-improvement. Moreover, active engagement in our community fosters a sense of belonging, a connection to something larger than ourselves. It reminds us that we are part of a collective sharing in the human experience. This sense of community can provide a buffer against negative emotions, strengthening our emotional resilience. By cultivating healthy relationships and engaging in our community, we foster emotional resilience and happiness.